Here's Jeff Passan with the very latest. And so here we are. And really, from my perspective, I like what the players had to say. They're done negotiating. Tell us where, tell us when, tell us how many games. And in essence, they are true employees about to be told what they're going to do by their boss, which is Major League Baseball. So where do we go from here now?
Well, the problem now, Steve, is that while they may want to go back onto the field, there are a couple of steps that need to be taken before they get back there. The first one, of course, is Major League Baseball figuring out what kind of schedule it wants to implement. But it's not that easy, because if MLB wants, it could possibly file a grievance against the union for failing to negotiate in good faith per its March agreement that this whole thing is about anyway. You go back to that March agreement and the players believe that they are entitled to their full prorated salaries. Because of it, Major League Baseball disagrees with that, and because the players have not moved off of that position where they would be paid 100% of that prorated salary, we're in this complete mess right now. So when the union said to the league, please tell us when to play, tell us where to play, they were essentially saying to them, make that schedule, but MLB doesn't need to do that. On top of that is the health and safety protocol. There is no signed agreement at this point for players and the league to figure out how they're going to get back and play amid the pandemic. So that's another issue on top of the schedule being set at this point. It's a mess. It is a complete unequivocal mess. And when Rob Manfred said to Carl Ravitch earlier this week, we will 100% be playing this season, this is a big test to see if that's actually true.
So timing is everything in life, as we all know. And, of course, the New York Post today broke a story that Major League Baseball had agreed to a future broadcast deal with Turner Sports. And the headline reads, it's $1 billion. So it's obviously bad optics for Major League Baseball, that happening today. Of course, the money's not flowing in right now. The money's probably a few years away. But It does speak to the overall financial health of the game. And the players certainly took note of that today.
Yeah, and listen, the game in a normal year is very healthy. You know, $10 billion in revenue last year, plus, I mean, that's a lot of money. The problem now, though, Steve, is that Major League Baseball says the revenues coming in this year are projected to be only about $2.75 or so billion. The players do not believe that number. They have asked for documentation to back it up. The league has provided some documentation. The players have said, no, it's not enough. It's redacted too much. It doesn't tell us what we want to know. This is what a nasty labor dispute looks like. And the way that it has taken the twists and the turns, the way that they have not talked to each other, but talked past one another, it's like they're negotiating completely different agreements at this point. And that's why we're finding ourselves, Steve, where we are in the middle of June with no agreement in place, no spring training in sight, and no beginning of the season set, and really no idea if or when baseball is going to be played.
So I guess it'd be a bad time to ask you about future labor peace, and so I won't do that going forward. Man, Jeff Passan with the very latest. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.